What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. For those that are new here, my name is Eric, and behind me is my 2017 BMW M4 competition. In today's video, we're going to be continuing the mods that we started in the last video. If you guys didn't see previously, we lowered the BMW M4 on a set of lowering springs. In today's video, this car is going to get a full carbon fiber front lip, new headlights, and a ton of other mods that we're going to get to later in the video. Let's go ahead and jack up the car and start working on it. All right, guys, we got the jack set up underneath the car. Before we put this thing up in the air, let's go ahead and grab the carbon fiber lip. We'll get the M4 up in the air. We're going to be removing the bumper. Now we'll let us remove the factory headlights, and then we're going to be attaching the new carbon lip to the bottom of the bumper and reinstalling everything. All right, guys, we got this thing unwrapped. Super excited to be installing this. So like I said, we're going to get the bumper pulled off. We'll go ahead and test fit the bumper off the car, get everything attached, and we'll get it reinstalled as one piece. You can install front lips with the bumper still in the car, but I think generally you get better fitment and you're able to get it tighter with the front bumper when you install it off the car. So we're going to be doing that today. Let's go ahead and get the front bumper removed. We're going to start underneath the hood of the M4 by removing the weather stripping that covers all of the bolts holding on the top of the front bumper. After we remove those, we can go ahead and jack up the car and come around to the side to start removing all of the bolts that attach the bumper from the side. And we're going to be completely removing the fender liner in order to get access to the back of the headlight housing to take the headlight out. After we've taken out the passenger side, we can move over to the driver's side and do the same thing, removing the entire headliner and all the bolts attached to the side of the bumper. After that, we can go ahead and move down to the bottom of the car and start removing all of the 8mm bolts across the bottom, including the two side trays, and completely removing those from underneath the car. After that, there's a couple of connections like the headlight washers, the front parking sensors, and the side view cameras that need to be disconnected from both sides in order to completely remove the bumper off the car. After that, we can go ahead and take the entire assembly and set it off to the side. I'm going to take this time and go ahead and vacuum out the front of the car to remove any leftover road debris that gets caught in the grills and ducting of the front bumper. All right, guys, we got the full bumper removed from the front of the M4. It actually wasn't too bad. I'll go ahead and walk you guys over all of the different connections that we had to remove right at the end there in order to get this thing off. So looking at the front over here on the passenger side, we have one connection. If you have headlight washers, this is actually the main connection from the washer bottle tank to your front bumper. You're gonna pull up on the tab like that, and this whole thing will just pop right off. That is the only connection that goes to the front bumper for the headlight washers. Right here is actually a connection for the side view cameras. If you don't have a side view camera, you won't have this. You're gonna push down on that little tab right there, pull this straight back. The last one down here is actually for parking sensors. Again, so if you don't have parking sensors, you're not gonna have this, but you're gonna squeeze on both the top and the bottom like that and pull it out. That is pretty much everything on this side that we needed to get out in order to remove the bumper. Over here, we just have this one connection for the side view camera. Again, if you don't have side view cameras, you won't have this, but everything else was just 8mm bolts on the bottom and in the fender liners. And then the top was all T30s and 2 T25 bolts. We're gonna be taking our front lip right here, and we're gonna be installing it. We're gonna start with these two pieces right here. These pieces are just held on with double-sided tape, and then we'll actually be screwing this lower part through both of those into the bumper. So let's start with getting these on with the double-sided tape, and then we'll move on to this piece right here. So we're going to prep the bumper with some isopropyl alcohol to make sure there's no grease or anything left on the bumper that's going to stop the double-sided tape from sticking. After that, we can go ahead and try and get these fangs over the front bumper without touching any of the double-sided tape as we slide them down in place. You can see here I'm adding some double-sided tape all the way around the edge, peeling back the backing and sliding it over the front bumper. Alright guys, we got the carbon fiber fangs on. As you can see, they were a little bit difficult to install just because they want to stick as you're pushing them on. So you just want to kind of spread them out as they're going down and make sure you're not touching any of the sides. It's almost like a game of operation, trying not to touch any of the double-sided tape until it's all the way on there, and then sticking it down all the way around the bumper. So we were able to get these fully stuck on there, and they seem very, very secure. Next thing we're going to do is get the lip test fitted with some double-sided tape, and then we'll be adding these screws into the bottom. There's 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and 1 right in the middle. We'll be doing double-sided tape along the bottom of the entire lip as well. Let's go ahead and get that installed. To temporarily hold this lip in place, I'm going to go ahead and put some clamps in the middle and on both edges, just to try and make sure it's perfectly flush with the front of the bumper before we put any screws or any tape on the bottom side of this. After we verified where everything is and that it all lines up perfectly, we can go ahead and pre-drill the holes and add the screws in to the bottom side of the bumper and make sure everything fits perfectly. After we get all the screws in, we're going to go ahead and take them back out in order to peel the double-sided tape off the bottom of the bumper. And then we can go ahead and reseat the screws and make sure everything sits flush on the bumper. Alright guys, we have the front lip fully installed and ready to go back onto the car. I think it looks amazing. It adds some really aggressive styling to the front end, and I think it looks great. So let's go ahead and get this thing back on the car. But first, let's go ahead and install our brand new headlights. We did remove the fender liners all the way so we can get access in order to remove the headlights. There's a couple T30s behind the headlight, as well as the ones on top, and then one 10mm bolt here over on the side. So we're going to go behind the headlights. Now that we have the fender liners out, we're going to get all the hardware out in order to remove these headlights. In order to remove the factory headlights, there are 4 bolts total. One T30 on the top and 2 T30s on the bottom, as well as one 10mm bolt on the side. The 2 T30s on the bottom are actually held in with red Loctite, so they're quite a pain to get out. After you get all 4 of those bolts out, you're able to release the electric connector and remove the headlight from the car. After that, we can go ahead and move over to the driver's side and repeat that same process in order to get the headlight out of the car. Alright guys, we got the full bumper off, including both headlights. They were quite a pain, but we were able to get them off. There's a bunch of different instructions online, so it's pretty easy to find the information on how to get those off. We have the bumper and the headlights right here, and in this box right here we have a new set of Ikon 2 style headlights. I showed you guys these in the last video. Super excited to get these on the car. Let's go ahead and take these lights out and show them to you guys. Alright guys, so we have these brand new headlights right here. These are a plug and play headlight for the F82 M4 and F80 M3. These are the Ikon 2 style headlights. They are a perfect replica. They even say adaptive LED over here, and they look exactly like the factory Ikon headlights. These headlights were not available for 2017. They came out in 2018 as an option, and the headlights we have right here are actually the option headlights for pre-2017. So we're going to be upgrading from these option headlights to the LCI option headlights, aka the Ikon 2 style headlights. So the only thing we need to do to get these in the car is actually swap over a couple of the factory clips right here and the 2 clips that go on the bottom from these headlights over to these new ones. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll throw these in the car. So after swapping over the clips from the factory headlight onto the new one, we're able to get a test fit in the car. That's actually when the first issue came up with these new headlights. Alright guys, we just ran into our first little issue trying to get this passenger side headlight on. We're able to get the driver's side set in place. We're gonna plug them in and make sure they work before we get everything fully installed. This harness right here for the back of the plug actually doesn't reach It actually needs to reach right about down here. After a quick Google search, it looks like this is a common issue with other aftermarket headlights as well. We're going to be trimming back some of this electrical tape in order to free this harness as much as possible and get it to reach down here. So as of right now, that's the only issue we're running into. So we're just going to need to cut some of this electrical tape and trying to extend this to reach all the way down. We're going to get both headlights in place, make sure they turn on and power up. We'll get them fully installed, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys the final results. All right, guys, so we have the headlights connected. We were able to stretch that one harness on the passenger side down enough to get it connected. So now I can turn these on and see what they look like for the first time. I'm not gonna show you guys quite yet. I just wanna see what they look like before we get them fully installed, and then I'll show you guys at the end with the new front lip and everything on together. So let's go ahead and turn these on for the first time. Oh my gosh, those look good. Wow. That's insane. Wow, these are going to be so awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see these. Let's go ahead and finish up the install, and we'll go ahead and show you guys the new headlights at the end. With the new headlights and new carbon fiber front lip installed, we can go ahead and slide on our front bumper back into its place. We're going to start by reinstalling all of the bolts on top and on bottom before we move over to both sides, reinstalling all of the bolts and double checking the fitment with the hood. After that's done, we can move on into reinstalling the fender liners and making sure everything is buttoned up underneath the car and under both wheel wells. All right, guys, we have the entire front end put back together with the new Ikon 2 headlights and the new carbon fiber front lip. I think it looks absolutely amazing. This adds so much aggressiveness to the front end, and these updated headlights are just that much cleaner and sleeker than the old version headlights. Let's go ahead and turn these on and give you guys your first look at the new headlights. So these look awesome. They look completely OEM. They do the wake up sequence where they go up and down, as well as turning on the angel eyes when the headlights start. We can code all of that to turn on different things at different times using dimmer code like I've showed you guys in the past. Right now I have it coded for the angel eyes to stay on for a certain amount of time when you wake up the car. When the car is driving during the day, just these angel eyes are illuminated and it looks super mean. So I'm very excited to show you guys that out on the road and get a look at these headlights. We have a few more things to do before we're ready to take the M4 out on the road. The next thing we're gonna do to match this aggressive front end is we're gonna be adding our carbon fiber rear diffuser to the rear end of the car. Let's go ahead and show you guys those carbon fiber rear diffuser pieces now. All right, guys, you can see we have these carbon fiber diffuser extensions right here. I didn't get an entire diffuser because I actually have a factory carbon fiber diffuser. So these are just the add-on pieces to the side. You can get this with the center section of the diffuser as well if yours isn't carbon fiber, but because mine is, we're just gonna be adding these on. We aren't going to be using any double-sided tape. We're just going to be using these screws. So we're going to get these mocked up with some tape underneath the car, and then we're going to go ahead and send some screws into the rear bumper to hold these on. So I initially tried to install these upside down, but after I figured out which way was right side up, these actually fit perfectly underneath the rear bumper and connect up with the factory carbon fiber diffuser and add just that little bit of aggressiveness to the rear. They were super easy to install and they look great. All right, guys, we got those rear diffuser extensions on and they look awesome. It just adds that little bit more aggressiveness to the rear end and they fit absolutely perfect. No issues at all. They do use one of the factory mounting holes that makes it really easy to line up, starting with that one. I just taped everything else in place and then put in the other screws into the bottom of the rear bumper. Super easy, very satisfying mod, and I'm super stoked with how these came out. All right, guys, we got the M4 completely back together. The front lip, the front headlights, and the rear diffuser extensions are all on and they look amazing. There's just one more mod we're gonna be doing in today's video, it has started to get pretty cold outside, so it is officially time to switch over to a set of winter wheels and tires. These are from another BMW that I had in the past. Let's go ahead and show you guys the new wheels and tires we're going to be putting on the M4. So right over here we have a set of Apex EC7 wheels. I've had these for quite some time. I've actually run them on a few different cars, but these are an 18 by 9.5 with a positive 22 offset. These are a 255/40/18 Bridgestone Blizzak. So this is a full winter tire, as you can see, with the aggressive tread right here. So we're gonna be switching these over so we can drive this thing fully through winter without any issues. So let's go ahead and get the new Apexes on the car. I'm super excited to drive with a full set of winter tires on this car and take it up to the ski resorts and just do some stuff you don't see most people in M4s doing. So let's go ahead and swap over to these new wheels. We'll see how they look. All right, guys, we officially have all of the new parts installed, including the new Ikon headlights, the new carbon fiber lip, carbon fiber rear diffuser extensions, and our Apex EC7 wheels. This thing looks absolutely insane, and compared to before, it has made a complete transformation. I didn't think these few mods would make such a big difference, but it really does make the tint and the dark headlights pop with the black wheels and the rest of the black, including the carbon roof. I just think it looks amazing. I'm so excited about this, but it's getting late here at the shop, so we're gonna take the car out tomorrow, and I'm gonna get some shots of this thing outside in the sun. I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, we are back. It is the next day. We are at my home garage, and we have the M4 here. It looks absolutely insane. You guys take a look outside, though. It did snow last night for basically the first time of the season here in Utah that there is snow on the ground. So I timed it just about perfectly, throwing on the winter tires. Let's go ahead and take this thing outside and get some shots of the M4 in the snow. All right, guys, we just got the M4 back to the shop and drove it last night and this morning. It feels absolutely amazing. I'm so excited with the new look of the car. I think it absolutely transformed this M4 into something completely different. It looks amazing now. But just like that, today's video is over. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any content coming out in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.